and welcome to yet another exciting edition of People and Places here on Ghana Web TV. You know, on this show, we don't only bring you a blend of culture or different places we visit, we also bring you unique stories of amazing people doing amazing stuff. And today, I'm happy to bring to you the story of a young chef who has been doing wonders with his organization, Food for All Africa. I'll tell you all about it when we return from this breather. And later in the show, we have a surprise you don't want to miss. My name is Wanda Amihigan. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that quick break. We are in a kitchen and you already see my guest. We are speaking to Elijah Addo. He's a chef, like I already told you. And good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you
doing? I'm okay.
Yeah, you're welcome to the Kitchen of Hope.
Kitchen of Hope. You named your kitchen?
Yes, it signifies hope to a lot of people out there, and so for us, letting the people who work here know the importance of what is not just food, it goes beyond it.
Have you always wanted to be a chef?
Well, growing up, I didn't imagine I would end up as a chef. I come from a family of 4 children. I'm the only boy and second born. My childhood ambition was to become a medical doctor.
Okay.
Yes, but I was very close to my mom. And my mom was a caterer, she cooked a lot. And growing up, I remember somewhere age 8, 9, what happens is anytime she cooks, because I'm mostly closer to her, I get to taste it before anybody else tastes, and I give feedbacks. So that was where my passion for food, cook, actually came from. But it wasn't until after I lost my parents at a tender age and had to look at what I can be beyond my dreams and aspirations.
Which age are we?
That's about 11, thereabout. At tender age of 10, my mom died. A year later, my dad, and we were left in the care of my grandmom and auntie. So it was actually in Nigeria that I got to see my passion for cooking. And that also was through an accident.
Nigeria? You
Yes.
grew up in Nigeria?
Yes, part of my life was in Nigeria. After losing my parents, I had to go and stay with my auntie to do my junior secondary school in Nigeria. And I remember back then, my sisters were back with my auntie my grandmom in Ghana, and I was staying with my auntie in Nigeria. And sometimes my grandmom would call and complain, things are a bit difficult. So looking at what I can do as the only boy to help my sister's education, I decided to take up a job while still in JSS. I was in JSS 2 by then, so I took up a cleaning job in a restaurant called Spins around Ikeja. And usually from school I'll go clean, and then somewhere 10, 11 on weekends till 1 a.m. I close and I go home. I was fortunate to find myself in the kitchen, and I kind of admire what the chefs, the cooks were always doing in the kitchen. But one day when I was towards my final year to write my junior secondary certificate examination, as they call it, BCE in Ghana, I remember a Sunday prior to a Monday before going to write that exams. We delayed at work so much, and I had to be washing pans and loads of pans. So in a hurry to go home, there was this pan that had a sauce in it. I took it, threw the sauce away, and then washed the pan. As I was washing it, the chef walked in, and just seeing me with the bowl, got so furious. Who asked you to throw away my sauce? Who asked you to? Who asked? So as he was shouting, he started throwing plates at me. He got very angry. So when he threw a plate at me, I started crying. I was just crying. Then I busted out. Do you think if my mom was to be alive, I would be here cleaning whilst my colleagues are learning for exams tomorrow? So that statement, out of the crying, made the chef to now understand the reason why at that young age of about 12 years by then, being a cleaner in his restaurant. And after that, he had a conversation with me. Apparently, he also had a similar childhood where he lost his parents. So there was that connection. And so it was through that accident, that incident, that he became a mentor to me. At a point, he opened up his kitchen for me. All he needed to do was tell me what he wants to prepare. And when he tells me, I want to do mayonnaise, the next thing, I'll pick up all the ingredients he needs for a mayonnaise onto the working table for him. And then he will cook what he wants to cook. And that was where the interest for cooking started from.
That's a very interesting story. How long have you been doing this?
I've been cooking for the past 15 years. Yes, because from the age of 12, I was already in the kitchen. Whilst I was in my junior secondary school in Nigeria. Then after my JSS, I had to come back to Ghana to come and work with come in school. So I attended St. Thomas Aquinas, Bebe, to be specific. And after that, I did general science with the hope that I will still be able to become my childhood ambition. Because growing up, I wanted to become a medical doctor. So in spite of all the challenges, I still held on to that aspiration that one day I will be able to become. But after secondary school, the challenge of going to medical school came up, and it was a difficult one. I got good grades. However, my relatives who were going to help, my extended family, most of them were suggesting things that were far away from my dreams. Some were like, oh, you can become a journalist. Some were like, you can become a teacher. Through being a teacher, you will be able to get allowance. And so the decisions were so many, I was confused at that point. And I saw being the doctor would be difficult. So I spoke with my mentor back in Nigeria, and he asked me to come back and work with him to figure out what I really want to do with my life.
Your chef mentor, you mean?
Yes, my chef mentor. So I went back. And then after we had that discussion, I actually realized working in the kitchen, I'm a doctor in the kitchen. So a lot of my colleagues and friends who knows me growing up actually call me the doctor in the kitchen, because we still wear the same whites. We cook food, and food is medicine. It's the most natural medicine you can think about. So, hey, I'm still living my dream of being a doctor in the kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so at which point did Food for All Africa come in?
Yes, so at a point in my career as a chef, I decided to come back home, and I was fortunate to get a job with a hotel around Reach as a chef. I came back from after schooling, working in Nigeria for some time. I came back to Ghana, and I was a chef de partie in that hotel. And whilst working there, my job was to get to work very early. By 4:30, 5, 6, I need to be at work. So one of that occasions, I saw this mentally disabled man who comes to where we keep our trash bin, pick all the leftover foods that we threw away, then puts it in small bags. Then he goes under the Nima overhead, the bridge under the Nima overhead. He goes there, hand over the food that he picks. Because when I cross in the afternoon, I still see him giving food to people. Then I realized it wasn't only our restaurant, our hotel that he comes to. He actually goes round Ridge, Osu, where the posh, the residential and then hotels and restaurants, to pick edible leftover wasted food from trash bins, and then goes feeding his colleagues on the streets. Wow. So when I saw this was what he was doing, one morning I came into touch with him at our workplace. And so I decided to ask him, Nana, adentina ya usise biane na now they are koma omo kwan ho. Meaning, why do you pick leftover foods for your colleagues on the street? And his response to me was, Semanya, why never? It made me start thinking consciously that finding myself in where we work with food, we waste a lot of food. What can I do? So we started off with, instead of throwing away the food into the trash bin, we'll rather bag it. When he comes, we hand it over to him.
When you say we, who are you talking?
So myself and my colleagues at the hotel by then. I also spoke to other chefs that I know at that point in other places. So now they started giving me, I had to be picking the leftover foods and then giving it to him to give to his people on the streets. So at a point we started what was known as Chefs for Change Ghana Foundation, where I mobilized chefs to connect excess food from the industry to be given to vulnerable people who don't have purchasing power. And it was so inspirational. As the day went by, I got more attracted to what I was doing than cooking for those who can afford. So at that point, I had to make the decision between doing this full time and then as well doing it by the side. And I realized food waste was not limited to just the hospitality industry. I spoke with suppliers and realized they had the same challenge. I spoke with different stakeholders within the supply chain. Then we realized that the problem of food waste is everywhere. And so we decided to start Food for All Africa in 2015.
What does Food for All Africa do as an organization?
So we are operators of West Africa's first and largest food bank in Ghana. When I say food bank, it's a model that thrives very well across Europe and other parts of the world. Food banking is such that it is a place where food that is in excess along the supply chain, be it from manufacturing companies, be it from factories, be it from importers, along the food supply chain, due to some restrictions, laws and stuff, there are some food products that are perfectly edible. However, it cannot get to the table where it will be bought. And so what happens is, most often than not, people who work within that sector have to throw those food away. Let me give you a typical example. If I'm an importer of corned beef or food from any part of the world, per the laws of FDA, if the food is coming to Ghana, the inscriptions on the can has to be written in English. But most often, the company where you are importing the food from produces for other countries, and sometimes by mistake, they will send to you in Ghana the product, but it might be labeled in French or another language. And because of what the law says, you as an importer cannot sell that food. So what happens? There's a perfectly edible food, but just because of labeling mistake, they have to throw it. And we're talking about tons of food. Take a fresh marketing company like the shopping mall. Sometimes there are some sizes of fruits and vegetables that they look out for. If the fruit and vegetable doesn't meet that size, it cannot get on the shelf. So what happens? A perfectly edible food is thrown away. And that is where we come in as operators of West Africa's first and largest food bank, to connect those perfectly edible foods to, first and foremost, vulnerable, incapable of working people. Okay. So we're talking about aged, disabled, community charities. We connect this food to these people by way of food boxes, meaning we give them ingredients on a large scale to use at their various homes. Or we do what we call the hot meals program, where from this kitchen on a weekly, twice a week basis, we cook hot meals and then go onto the street and give to those who are homeless and can't afford food. Someone will say it's just food, but at the end of the day, by giving them food, they open up to us. They tell us what their stories have been, what their struggles has been, what their aspirations were, and food makes that magic to come about. And for me, it is more of a blessing than any other thing you can ask of.
So we are still on the conversation, and we hit the streets with a team from Food for All Africa. And their mission is to look for the vulnerable, poor and needy who are hungry and feed them with one hot meal for today. They are serving them curry rice and egg stew, and we already have a lot of people queuing up. This is just to give our viewers a fair idea what this organization does on the ground. If we get the opportunity, we'll speak to some of these beneficiaries to find out their thoughts and experiences as far as the program is concerned. What's your first name?
From Derek.
Derek is saying.
Yamina Domo.
What's it? I have a baby.
Mitikanda State.
Now, oh, you're a danger man.
Okay, then you should make a man saying, Yama Cosonti, Yachoki, who they are
Who is saying, how does it help you?
Okay, Jumadino, make us a name in Kwanebua. On say, Mass Street, they bring a benefit food. Because they bring home Munya Jumaya. It is a Brianibis Basia, or bit me, you know, the funny wagon. Like I'll be able to my baby so many one like a baby and someone so being in which you know.
Say never in ya say anyway and I'll be
okay, like a baby because in this year weekend. See, I'm on fire or Mubua and my home behind there. To me, so me who can manage it coming with their food for Ghana bet my
what's it? I have it. What's it?
No, one more Uswachi.
You may do a boy who saying,
one may say, come as say, one mamma, when I'm so much problem so almost so much bones and most of the way. So I had a one part. And it's a case of the modern soon. I miss you much. The most soon to come here.
FME, ma.
What's the habit?
Matia, Jumadi,
it's what's the hard to say like Odam?
a hundred baby.
It's your identity on the normal.
Say, a piano for women ever buy a piano, you are they cry, they been doing. It's a way man of a body being a baby. Then I mean, Shrom, then I mean, they said your mobile. Answer, Lord Dan and Conor mobile. Lord Dan, you tell me let you no mobile. Obia or ba Lord Dan into no bar. Now we would debut mobile. Until Yamani a bomb payas said, or more musica, no more musica. Then he have for no more blend, Bibria than Elho. Yen sign, they be a windy pa, until they be a here for so. Until Nippo Betty being coming in February, Yamwaka, no more when you have one coins on a baby bread. I had no be to me that so you have for a higher police for high Nelson or qua and for no Benya Dianedi. Until higher near that a baby until a Dalmasi, so the Biomba boy.
And where do you live here around here?
I can sleep outside though.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
Me? What I'm doing? I do this one, digging, stretching.
So that's what you do when you
Yeah, to eat. You see my palm?
How long have you been doing this for?
Since 2012.
And where did you come from to stay here?
From Isiama.
Why did you choose to do this? Is it that you're not getting any other work to do?
That's it.
And how did you get to know about Food for All Africa?
Well, now somebody showed me that I should come and collect food. But that day, no. Now our second time. Okay. But this week he came here 2 times. The first time I came collect some. The program is very good. Then helping people who are hungry like us. Do not get money to buy food.
So those were the testimonies of some beneficiaries of the Food for All Africa program. For some of them, but for this program, they would barely have had anything to eat today. And so we'll go back to continue the conversation with Chef.
We provide vocational training and support to most of our beneficiaries. School feeding in Ghana is an important aspect of improving education. But the challenge for government has been how to run it effectively. So we also operate a school feeding program for schools that are currently not under school feeding program, under government school feeding program. We provide them with ingredients on a monthly basis. As well, we build kitchens for them in their school to enable them to at least have a place within their compound so that they will be able to provide one hot meal internally from their own compound to the children.
You've mentioned that people donate things that they are unable to use, which will go waste eventually. But you building for a community and getting fresh vegetables to cook, how do you get your resources, your funding?
Well, our funding comes from different sources. We get some funding from grants. We get some from benevolent donations, people who believe in the work we do. And sometimes too, we get funding from people who have benefited from the work we do. Let me give you a typical example. Years back, we were providing hot meals to a group of people at the Independence Square. And there was this particular young man who walked up to us after we've given him a meal. He came back to me and was like, "Sir, can I have another pack of meal so that I will eat that tomorrow morning? Because if I don't get it, I don't know what I will feed on tomorrow morning." And I said, we need to make sure everybody gets some of the food. So unless we finish sharing and there is excess before we will be. He turned back, walked away, went to sit in the seats at Independence, and he looked very disappointed. He was actually sad and crying at a point. So I decided, let me get this food to him. I gave it to him and that was it. Years later, we were on an outreach when a car parked, seeing our truck, he parked, and this same gentleman walks up to me and was like, "Do you remember me?" I said, "No." He said, "After completing school and coming to Accra to hustle, I used to sleep at the Independence Square. You remember there was a day you gave a gentleman food. He came back, asked for more, and you gave it to him. I am that gentleman."
Wow.
I am that gentleman.
Several years later.
Yes, and for me, I felt the connection. This was just a pack or two of food.
Yeah.
But for him, it meant a lot at that critical moment, because that was what it meant for his survival. And he said, look, he understands the importance of the work we're doing. He became a friend of our food bank, and he's been supporting us.
With all these categories of things you do, how many people do you work with?
Currently, we have a staff strength, a permanent staff strength of 15, and we have a casual or contract-based staff strength of almost 10 people.
So
with 20
these people put together, what do they do?
Our various programs and activities that we run, they have specific, there are those who, we also partner organizations. So for COVID, at the onset of COVID, we started the Food for All Ghana COVID-19 Emergency Intervention Program. And through that emergency intervention program, we created partnerships with organizations like GIZ Ghana, where we are providing hot meals for frontline health workers. So some of the staffs on contract, for instance, help in cooking food. These are chefs who used to have works in the hospitality industry, and as a result of COVID, they are now at home. So they help to cook meals served daily to Gahist Hospital, where we provide hot meals to all the medical staffs there. So we have those who do that. We have those who source for food. And in some cases, we also have people donating for us to purchase. And so we have those who also purchase.
Do you have volunteers coming in?
Yes, we have individual and group volunteers. Key among them is schools. One critical school that we are so much appreciative of is Ashasi University. Their students understand the meaning of volunteerism, so they volunteer on our program. Some of their students come here on weekends to help in packing food products in our warehouse and all that. So we have individuals and groups too that frequently volunteer on our programs.
Right. Let's see some of the communities you've covered in Ghana, and how impactful has your work been in those places?
Yes, so we have currently, our operation is within 5 regions. We operate in Greater Accra, Eastern, Central, Volta region, and then the Ashanti region. When you take Greater Accra, communities like Teshi, Jamestown, Choko, these are vulnerable communities, where deprived communities as well, where we have people there. We have NEMA, we have beneficiaries in those communities. In the Ashanti region, you can look around the Efija Kwabri South area. We have some communities that we support through our initiatives as well. And we work with over 72 community charities. So these are orphanages, community groups within other communities that we also support. Some even beyond our 5 regions. We have a prison. We work with a prison in the Afram Plains. We support them as well. And most often than not, the food we provide them, be it ingredients or hot meals, goes a long way to relieve them in terms of their budget constraints, to also provide their beneficiaries with the right nutritious intake of food. We also provide them with recipes and things that makes them understand that you don't need to have plenty money before you are able to eat a healthy, balanced meal. So these are some of the things we also support our communities through. Great stuff.
Elijah, let's hold it there. You would agree with me that he's a genius. I mean, all the things he's doing, and his inspiration was from a mentally challenged man and the passion to help society. Earlier when I met him, he said he's greedy for the needy. But I promised you earlier that we have a surprise for you, and we'll get into that right after this break. This is still People and Places. Do stay.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
Mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects, and others right here on Ghana Web TV.
Welcome back from that break, and a surprise is ready. The table is set, not for eating though. The CEO of Food for All Africa is going to be doing his cooking thing on this show, and we will see how he goes about the whole thing. But first of all, what are we cooking?
Well, you can't come to the kitchen of hope without us blending some recovered products together with ingredients we sourced locally to give you a recipe.
Recovered products?
Yes, so when we say recovered products, they mainly mean products that would have ended up wasted. So we recover them and then we use it to make sumptuous meal. And I'm sure you will tell viewers. So what we're doing,
I can't wait.
What we're doing is called the Taco Garden Eggs Chicken Sandwich.
Taco Garden Eggs Chicken Sandwich. Okay.
We have our local garden eggs. You can see we're boiling it.
Okay.
So we take out the flesh, part of it. We will use chicken breast. Usually we don't get chicken for free, so those ones we buy.
Okay.
The taco bread we get sometimes for free. We have tomatoes, mozzarella cheese. We have creamy sauce with spaghetti. In it as well. We recover. So these are some of the things we recover. You can see we have mixed veg. You see your sweet corn. You see it's also recovered.
Carrots and all of that.
Yes. You see what I talked about, the writing. You see it's written in Spanish, but it's a perfectly edible food which has expiring date of somewhere 2023.
Okay.
So you can imagine.
Still good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
which meal is this? Like which country?
So it's a blend of North America, Ghanaian. The garden eggs gives it that Ghanaian feel. And then the taco, which is the main ingredient, which is the Mexican bread, is from North America. So you can call it North meets West Africa.
North meets West Africa. We are getting right into it.
Yes.
But we'll be having a conversation in between.
Sure.
And so you took Ghana to England.
Oh yes, it's actually Food for All taking me to England. Most often than not, when the story of meeting the Queen is shared, I feel the part that brought about the whole happening. You know, getting before the Queen is not an easy deal.
Of course.
Yes. And it took the work we do at Food for All. So at the beginning of Food for All Africa, somewhere 2016, 2017, we tried to make a lot of advocacy on the economic and environmental impact of food waste in Ghana. And we went as far as starting a Guinness World Record for the longest charity table. So on the Osu Oxford Street, we set up a long table. We wanted to beat 1,000. We wanted to beat 1,503 meters. That was the record by then. But we were so close to about 800 meters. Wow. We didn't beat the record though.
Yes.
But on that day,
close.
We were able to bring vulnerable people together with those who have to sit on a table and enjoy a meal together. And it was for free. And it was so significant that it also created international awareness for us. And it was true that we got the opportunity to be in Buckingham Palace. There's a program that the Queen's Jubilee Trust they do. It's called the Queen's Young Leaders Program. So I was selected. I got the opportunity to study for 1 year a course they call Leading Change from the University of Cambridge. And then after the completion of the course, you get to receive your award from the Queen. We were about 60 students, 60 young people,
Okay.
not from different parts of the Commonwealth. And on the day we were supposed to meet the Queen, I had a decision to wear my African wear. As well, I took along my chef jacket. So we were to meet the Queen somewhere early evening. As at 2 p.m., I wasn't decisive of what I want to wear because it was a big moment. I mean,
Yeah.
and I just reflected, and it crossed my mind that I got here because of the jacket.
Yeah.
And the fact that I met the mentally challenged. How would I be able to tell this story if I'm asked properly?
Okay.
It's only by representing who I am, what I do. That's what brought me here. So I made up my mind to wear my chef jacket.
Okay, so that was the inspiration behind it.
Yes.
The
and
jacket.
so when I got to receive the award from Her Majesty the Queen, I was the third to receive an award. The first was from Ghana, so she was also wearing a kente, which represented Ghana. So I got to the Queen and she was curious. I'm also from Ghana and I'm wearing a chef jacket. So she was like, "Are you from Ghana?" I said, "Yes, Your Majesty." Whoa! She spoke about Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, the time she was there. I received my award. And then after everyone has received the award, we had a picture taking session. So it was during the picture taking session that I got the opportunity to, the Queen called me again. After the picture, I was behind, everybody was shouting, "Where is the chef? Where is the chef?"
Okay.
Apparently she wanted to talk
So
to
she
me
asked
again.
for
She
you.
asked if would I want to cook for her, and I said, "Oh yes, if given the opportunity." What would I cook? I said, "Oh, my favorite food is wache. Is a favorite."
Wait,
And
were you
then
the
they
only
needed-
one she called again?
Yes,
Of all
after the
people?
picture session, we were in the gallery. I have a picture in my office. I'm sure you would see.
Yeah.
And then I was called from behind, and it was a moment that just passed by. I was lost in it, but that also gave me the opportunity to get back to UK after the whole program, to get to work with the Commonwealth, to create recipes and all that. And it also gave me, what I missed out of that opportunity was using that critical moment to talk about the issue of food banking in Ghana and in Africa. And I believe an opportunity of meeting Her Majesty the Queen should rather accelerate that vision of a Ghana, Africa without hunger and poverty.
Yeah.
And for
That's
us at
actually
Food
part
for
of
All,
the SDG goals.
Yes,
Yeah.
and for us at Food for All, that's why it's always a shared social responsibility. Back to our recipe, our garden eggs is almost ready, so we pick it off to the side.
All right.
Then we work on our chicken. So we're using chicken breast.
Okay.
What we're gonna do is, we don't want to, we need to have a feel of the chicken, so we cut it into thinner version.
Okay.
Then you know, chicken usually goes well with mustard. We cut them into cubes.
Were you the only one in an attire that was different from, you know, the formal or the African wear kind of thing?
Yes, so everybody was representing their country, where they are from. And I turned out to be the holy person wearing what resonates around the work he does.
You do.
And you know, the unique thing too about it was that at the time we were moving from where we were to the palace, people were murmuring, "Oh, really? Going to meet the Queen in a chef jacket?
Yeah.
Like, it looks hot." And for me, at that moment, I was a bit disappointed that, did I make the wrong choice? Probably.
So you were a bit nervous.
Yes,
about the
I felt
outcome.
sad until I received my award and I realized the chef jacket actually became the
It was
what attracted Her Majesty's
I see.
attention. And it has taught me a lot of lessons in this life. That when you make up your mind to do something, however you want to do it, just
go ahead.
It's not about what people
think
will say or think about what you're trying
decision.
to do. At the end of the day, it is your decision. You should be ready to face the consequences, whether good
or bad.
So now our chicken goes in. We will marinate it. And to marinate our chicken, we use mustard. This mustard.
Okay.
A bit of chili flakes, so that you get a feel of your chili. Now, at this point, our pan should go on the fire, so that we have it a bit hot. Let's do a bit more mustard, then salt. So simple marinade, nothing too cumbersome.
Okay.
You have your salt.
Right. So, whilst you marinate the chicken, let me just ask, what did you cook for the queen?
So people talk about the wachi. Actually, it wasn't wachi. Wachi was my favorite meal, and the media do that. It went beyond that. It's more about different African recipes and it was not just particularly targeted at the Her Majesty, the Queen.
Okay.
It was more based on recipes that resonates around Africa. So I got the opportunity to go back. I had the opportunity to visit Jimmy Oliver Foundation as well. And like I keep saying, I keep coming back to the fact that for me, the important thing is what they
took you there.
Which
and
is
that's Food for All Africa. Yeah.
And I want to talk more on Food for All Africa, how that visit benefits the ordinary Ghanaian. If food banking can work for Europe, if food banking can work for North America, why not it working for a country like Ghana? Why doesn't it work for a country like Togo? And for me, that's what I believe the opportunity of meeting the Queen should resonate more. And I'm always pushing for connecting my job as a chef, because life, after all, it's about helping society. Yes. So at this point, our chicken goes in. We're using olive oil.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you are doing is supposed to do what exactly?
Yes. So our chicken breast, once we marinated it, we are grilling. So that will be the main protein source for our chicken.
Okay.
And then we'll also take off our garden eggs, peels that we'll use for the sandwich.
But then you mentioned, Food for All got you to the palace.
Yeah.
And then through that you were able to meet the Queen and prepare food for her and all of that. How is your visits to the Queen's Palace helping your vision? How has it helped with the progress of what you do?
Well, initially it created a lot of media attention. It also opened doors, especially for us. It gave us a level of credibility. People now understanding the importance of the work that we are taking upon ourselves to do. It also increased my chances of meeting world leaders, people who really has the experience, the know-how to inform, mentor, and improve the work that we were doing. So it has been a very good opportunity that for the rest of my life I will be grateful for.
And since then, what you do in Ghana, has it caught the attention of any other persons?
So many countries. So many countries. Mentioning a few, I've been to France. I actually have been to the French Palace before. Met the French president as well through the same work. I've met our president in France.
Wait, which of the French presidents?
President
Macron.
Emmanuel Macron. And President Nana Akufo-Addo. As at the time President Nana Akufo-Addo was at the French Palace, I was there with them as well. And I was in a chef jacket. Still quite a number of countries to share the experience, the work, and also to learn from those countries, the experiences on improving the work we do at People Africa. So at this point, we'll work on our garden eggs. What we do is filling it up.
So while Chef is doing his thing with his sandwich, we want to interact with some of his stuff and find out how working with him and working for Food for All Africa has been so far. My name is
Elinam Ramuji, and I'm the IT and Logistics Officer. I've been here for 5 years. Elijah is someone that doesn't give up, regardless of whatever is said or whatever is going on. All he does is he takes on the heat, just recomposes himself and then pushes through again.
My name is Shehu Ibrahim Babangida. I've been here for 7 months now, into my 8th month. I'm the project manager. His passion for the job and then how concerned he is for people who are privileged on the streets. We could be driving for so many hours and they stop by the road just to stop and then help someone else, feed somebody on the street.
I've been hungry before, so I know how it feels to be hungry. So if someone decides to do something of the sort, why not jump in?
My name is Eunice Amafua-Boedu. I'm the Administrative Secretary for Food for All Africa. Talking about Chef Elijah, very accommodating. But when it comes to work, you would have to do it. And one thing that inspires me about him is his untiring passion for Food for All, what we do as an organization. And for me particularly, that has been the push for me. You know, you are being inspired to do more, looking at how your boss is very passionate about the job and all that, and seeing smiles on the faces of these beneficiaries we get to. You know, it's satisfying, get to know that, oh, you're putting a smile on somebody's face.
We just heard from Eli, Eunice, and Ibrahim. They are staff who have been working with Chef Amu over time, and those were their testimonies of who this man is. Now let's get back to the cooking and see what is next. Okay, so at which point is our food now?
Yes, so at this point our chicken cheese spaghetti sauce is ready. We have our taco bread. What you do is you apply a bit of mayo. Then once you have your mayo in there on your bread, Once you have that ready, we pick our chicken out. First and foremost, your garden eggs. You take some on it. Then your chicken.
Also, it's the raw garden eggs.
Yes.
You cooked.
You cooked it. So cheese. That comes in. You go in with a bit of tomatoes, a bit of green.
Okay, but while you're completing the sandwich, in all your life as a chef,
yes,
can you share some of your most memorable and impactful moments that made you feel fulfilled or happy about what you do?
Yes, there has been a few moments, most especially times where I remember we had a program somewhere at Accra Central. So before I continue, the sandwich now we grill it a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember at a program at Accra Central, there was this group of street children. We provided food to them. A media personnel around was interviewing them to know how often they get food, what was it like. And one of this young boy, what's happened was like, I thought they be a your copy be a muye and they bet this dance why if no be as the other. It is a BBC badia a beboy, meaning they don't always get food.
It.
So when they get, they will eat till their stomachs start paining them. And on days where they don't also get, it goes to the point of pain. Then I got the fulfillment that, look, for us being in between to connect excess food might not cost that much, but it can go a long way to change their life and put smiles on the face of it. And that was the point where I knew this was the right thing. At that point, I was balancing my work as a chef in the hotels with the project. But then I said to myself, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I'm called for.
Okay, so more like your eureka moment.
Yes.
All right.
That has been it for me.
And has there been a day you look back and are like, this day was the most challenging day since I started this Food for All program?
Yes, it was when we had the longest table, beating the world record. I mean, that day was my most lowest moment, but at the same time, it also gave me a level of inspiration. Let me say why. We had a corporate entity wanting to sponsor us, and at the last moment pulling out. At that point, we've gone to purchase loads of food, running into millions of Ghana cedis, and we hadn't paid.
Okay.
We couldn't break the record.
So how are you going to make up for all that money?
All those needs. And it was for me the moment that my colleagues, people, young people who believed in the vision, stood in for me to say that, Chef, we might be down, but that's not the end of it. And I'm always grateful to the team back then. They make me feel like, look, you might not believe in yourself, what you're doing, but we got you. We know, we believe in what you're doing. And even though it was the lowest moment, I cried that day. At the same time, I encourage myself, and we look back to it. When we meet, we look back to it and we laugh over that experience. I think at this point, our sandwich is ready.
Okay.
So
it actually looks like a
shawarma.
Shawarma.
Yeah.
So how different is
let me
this?
Get you tissue.
How different is this from that?
Well, shawarma is made from the Lebanese bread, which is more fluffier than this. This is more spongy. It's heavy when you take it in. Yeah.
So it's ready. It's ready for eating.
Yes.
This is my favorite part. Thank you.
And we need feedback.
Okay, so this is what again? The name is quite lengthy.
So taco garden egg chicken sandwich.
Taco
garden egg chicken. Yeah. Made from ingredients we recovered that connects North America to West Africa.
It's really good. Like, I've not even dug into it yet, but just the bit I've taken.
Let viewers know the real.
It's really good. This is really good. I'm sorry you can't join me with this, but I just enjoy chicken, garden egg,
taco chicken sandwich. You can mix it.
It will take a while for me to get the name, but garden egg chicken taco sandwich, and it's really good from Chef Amu's kitchen. Just before we wrap up though, I'd want to know, when you talk about support system, who is your biggest support system?
First and foremost is my team. I have a group of young people who could have easily decided to live their life chasing other aspirations or peers, but they've always stood behind me. They've been supportive right from the onset. We have those who have come and gone, but they still even connect with the work we do. My staff currently too, they are very, very supportive. They understand the importance of the work we do here, that for the people we provide food for, they can't pay us, and the only pay they give to us is the smiles, the love, the fulfillment, and for us that is enough. And then as well, my mentors and board members, I have a very strong, experienced board that support the work we do. Then my better half,
I was waiting for that part.
She's been very supportive from the beginning of it. I'm sure if she's watching, she knows herself.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Right. And just before we go, I mean the very last thing, how can I join Food for All Africa, and what are your handles, social media? How can people find you and support?
Across all social media platforms, Food for All Africa, or at Food for All, the 4 is number 4 all GH, across all social media platforms. We have a website, www.foodforallafrica.com. When you go on our website, you see all the programs, all the activities, the people who support us on the platform. You get to donate, or even if you want to volunteer with us, it's also through the platform.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Chef Elijah. Your story is one inspirational one, and it's really amazing stuff you're doing. We are grateful for sharing your story on this platform, and thank you for making me a sandwich.
Thank you.
Right. You see, I still have my nose mask on. I'm going back to finish my sandwich, but you know, Corona is still around. I have to protect him by wearing my nose mask. But thank you for your company. This has been another fulfilling edition of People and Places. My name is Wondami Hagan, and my guest for today has been Elijah Addo. He's the Executive Director of Food for All Africa. And till we meet in the next edition, stay safe and take care of yourself.